Hi, I'm Albert.
Hi, I'm Danny.
Hi, I'm Jazz.
Hi, I'm Toby.
Welcome to Gamer State.
Alright, hey yo, what is going on, you guys? So, last week we didn't really do a video, which we said we probably were going to do. Although, it was week 4, really not a whole lot happened, nothing really interesting. Yeah, obviously, for those of you who know, Tom Brady against the Giants, obviously they lost. And there was a big question on why Tom Brady was starting and then why Jimmy Garoppolo wasn't starting.
Well, obviously, it's a 4-game suspension. He won't see any action. He won't even be able to be with the team.
Well, yeah, that is
As
true.
opposed to Josh Gordon being able to practice with the team.
Really nothing else happened during that last week. But we're going to obviously talk about the people who got cut, surprise cuts.
Surprise cuts.
So, freaking John Sutton from the Packers. That to me was insane. He's a young player still, isn't he?
3-time Pro Bowler, only 4 seasons into the league. I mean,
it is kind of crazy. And what's even more crazy about that is that they just let him go.
they just released him.
And no trading, no nothing. Which was, it's just insane, quite honestly. Who else do you know that got cut?
Well, Justin Forsett just got re-signed, but just the fact that they let him go and asked him, they probably did ask him, like, hey, like, can we just, like, let you go and sign you back for less? Like, he knew, like, that they were trying to shop him out.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, they got, what, 2 bags?
They got Terrence West and Kenneth Dixon.
And Javarius Allen.
Those guys all had a really good preseason. Justin Forsett didn't really have one. You know, it was,
Give and take.
So, I guess he might be a backup at this point, maybe?
Brandon Browner was another guy. I mean, obviously, he's up there. He's not up there compared to some of the, more recent NFL players like, Charles Woodson.
Yeah.
Lasted longer as DBs. Well, Brandon Browner has pretty much losing his touch at this point.
Yeah. Well, he's always been like, he's never been fast. And he's very physical, which gives him penalties, a lot of penalties. From what I heard, they were trying to move him to, what was it, safety?
Hybrid safety, which is, switch from linebacker, switching out during plays.
I mean, I could have seen him in that role. However,
in Seattle?
Maybe some team's probably going to pick him up.
He'll be good for depth for any, like, Jacksonville. I mean, Jacksonville's picking everybody. Might as well just pick him up just for tickets.
Maybe the Browns.
Or the Browns? No, Hugh Jackson's not that type of guy.
Okay. Anybody else that surprised you?
Probably D. Millionaire from the Jets.
From the Jets. Well, he was injury prone and he really never saw the field. That's one of the biggest things about it.
I feel like he got lost in the depth because at the time when he did get drafted in, the whole thing with Darrelle Revis, Antonio Cromartie.
Yeah.
And it was just like a back and forth, and so he never really got the shot. Mm-hmm. And when he was healthy, like everyone that came out of the Rex era, Rex Ryan era in the Jets is pretty much screwed. If you look at Mark Sanchez, which we will be getting to in a moment.
Okay, yeah.
Everyone pretty much came out jacked up.
Yeah. Okay, so since you brought up Mark Sanchez, let's go ahead and talk about it. He's now with the freaking Cowboys.
Crazy.
I mean, last place I thought he would end up.
Honestly.
However, the good thing is that he's pretty much not a starter. He's
pretty much the league whore, just bouncing from team to team. We need you. Okay.
It's not really his fault, though. I mean,
it's not. Honestly, in the beginning when he came out of USC, he was extremely, talented. I just feel like his confidence got so shut up after, the 2 AFC back-to-back championships. It's obviously too much pressure.
And obviously he'll always go down for the butt fumble and all that.
Yeah, just the lack of talent and supporting cast around him.
Yeah.
That, it just never got to him.
As well as, for those of you Patriots fans out there, Rob Ninkovich did get suspended. However, you can kind of look at it as a good thing. I mean, he was injured, so instead of him going on IR or starting the year on PUP or whatever, now he gets 4 weeks to recover. And now you can either put in Shea McClellan or you can rest your hopes on Bardavius Mingo. Jess got there and he's already made an impact. Again, only on the preseason, but so far, I like what he brings to the table. Sam Bradford,
and well, obviously the Broncos situation right now. I'm not sure. Like we talked about this last week. John Elway's, ego. Now he's starting the kid from Washington State. I don't know how talented he is because I'm not crazy about the Broncos, but obviously, like
nobody has really heard of him that much.
I've seen Paxton Lynch and his highlights, highlight reel. His mechanics, all that. He's really raw, and for them to say he'll be ready by mid-season, just like if we see him and Carson Wentz too, like I saw Jared Goff too, like. They'll have their 2 good throws and they'll just go like berserk. Like Christian Hackenberg, I didn't get to see him till like 3rd week. I was really curious about him, but he's no different from college. Like, and at the same time, that's how the rest of them were. Now, the only quarterback that I can say that like looked more polished, strangely enough, was Dakota Prescott, who was like not known in college for doing the midfield throws or the deep throws.
Yeah.
And he just, even in preseason week 1, he throws a fade to Terrence Williams, who Tony Romo, I don't even think he's ever done that. The back shoulder fade, like what?
Well, I'm pretty sure he does that to Dez Bryant a whole lot. I don't really.
Oh yeah, Dez Bryant, obviously, like the caliber of player Dez Bryant is, no one's taking that. But dude, Terrence Williams is not gonna beat you like that all the time.
What are your thoughts on the whole Teddy Bridgewater thing, where he got hurt, non-contact injury? And then Sam Bradford's coming in, and already, I mean, I just saw it on like social media not too long ago.
Well, I was awake. Actually, I was awake at that time when that happened.
Yeah.
I was at work, just being me, I guess.
Do you think this is Sam Bradford's possibly last chance to
honestly
really be a starter?
I highly doubt the Vikings will keep him after next season.
Yeah.
Depending on what they do, like to structure his contract, or they just trade him away. Like I said, another horror player, like just bouncing around the league. Obviously, this could be his last big shot as like to shop himself. That's what it really is.
Yeah.
Because once Teddy Bridgewater gets back up and running, unless it's like God forbid, something drastic like can't walk anymore. I doubt that.
One of the biggest topics going around the league right now is obviously the whole Colin Kaepernick thing. And him not standing for the national anthem, and it was just him, and then now a teammate of him, and then now
a soccer player,
a Seahawks player, and it's just starting to spread out. So, full disclosure here, we both are Army reservists, so I don't know. It might be a little bit biased. I don't know. Me personally, I don't have any bias involved. So, what are your personal thoughts on this?
Well, I guess I can see from this generation standpoint. Like I see what he's looking at. Like everyone knows, it's just like the elephant. It just so happens to be there, and
and nobody's gonna.
That elephant will always be there. Like we can try to crush it, but
well, do you think he's in the right on this? Because I think personally, like if he was just doing it out of spite, or if he was doing it for no cause whatsoever, for me, this is a noble cause, because it's something that he believes in, it's something that he stands for, it's something that obviously is going on, it's something everybody knows about, like you said, but nobody really addresses it. So to me, I say, you know what, it's his way of addressing it, and to me that's he's in the right for it. Not everybody's going to agree with it, like he's been criticized already. But even President Obama freaking said, it's
his right.
It's his right to do so. So
I don't agree with it, but I accept it.
Yeah.
Like, you just have to be open-minded. Now, obviously, we're not a political take channel, but that's just obviously this is gonna affect whoever's gonna sign him, because he just got benched for Blaine Gabbert, who got benched, who got kicked out of Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Well, according to some reports,
yeah,
there are like 7 to 8 GMs who are somewhat quarterback needy that won't even take a voucher on him.
Wow.
Why? Because he simply attracted too much attention to himself, which is bad media. You can't have too much of one thing. Like
yeah, well, yeah.
And now now, like, you just don't know what's gonna happen to him. Like, Chip Kelly benched him. Like,
I mean, we'll obviously see as the season goes along. You know, you can't just keep a really bad quarterback. You know, and not to say Blaine Gabbert's bad, but if he starts having a really, really bad stretch,
he's actually doing decently from what I remember last year's season. At the end of it, he was actually lighting it up somehow. He ran him for. There's some highlight reels of him running, you know, juking players. That was like, what? Now you got Chip Kelly running that?
Okay. So now we're going to get into our predictions for week 1. Obviously, we're not going to necessarily jump into the scores or anything like that, because that's going to probably be... We're going to be guessing completely wrong. We're going to be all over the place, not even freaking close.
Week 1. It's week 1.
Okay, so first up, we have your Panthers against the Broncos. Who are you taking?
I got Panthers by 10. Simply because of the state of the quarterbacks, and I know my Panthers are lacking in the secondary experience-wise, but I feel like Ron Rivera will get it going regardless. We'll win by 10. The offense, the Carolina ground and pound, will protect the defense.
Okay, I'm gonna say that the Broncos are gonna come away with the win by a field goal, and I'm gonna base that on purely because of the defense. That's pretty much it. And the running game, that seems to be, at this point, their best choice of attack. Running.
I do feel like, okay, no one's doubting what Denver has.
Yeah.
But the one thing I'm looking at is down the middle. They lost, Danny Trevathan, Malik Jackson.
Yeah.
And they lost, I'm not sure on their secondary exactly. I know they still have all the DBs.
Yeah.
For sure. But, I mean, that's pretty much where Carolina likes to go through.
Next up, we have the Vikings against the Titans. This is a weird matchup because they're both young teams trying to figure themselves out or find themselves.
Both of them actually have decent run games, you can say now.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, obviously no one doubts Adrian Peterson, but now you got DeMarco and the Heisman Trophy winner,
Derrick Henry. He's a tank. He's a real freaking tank. Who are you taking?
The Tennessee Titans as my upset pick.
Okay. By how much?
I want by a field goal.
By a field goal?
I don't know how good that kicker is.
Oh wow. Okay. I'm gonna go with the tried and true. I'm gonna go with the Vikings. I mean, Sam Bradford is behind that offense, but again, I think they have some young talent that Sam Bradford just cannot miss, as well as he's got Adrian Peterson. So, and he's got that. They got a pretty good defense.
A pretty good defense.
I'm gonna go.
Barr's a beast.
I'm gonna say they're gonna win by at least 2 touchdowns.
2 touchdowns.
2 touchdowns. Okay. Well, I wrote that wrong. Okay. So, next up we have the Bears and the Texans.
Bears and the Texans.
Both. The Bears have improved.
Both of them are actually revamped very offensively. The Texans obviously, and defensively, the Bears need that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, who are you gonna go with?
I got the Texans.
The Texans?
Yes, simply because of JJ Watt.
Okay, yeah.
And well, honestly, Will Fuller looks like the Robin to Nuke Hopkins.
Yeah.
Yeah, he looks like the Robin to.
So, how much you're gonna take him?
I'll take him by 20.
20?
20. I got a blowout.
Okay.
I just don't think the Bears have the core, the DBs. Mm-hmm. They're going to be worried about the run. I mean, I'm not saying Alfred Blue or Lamar Miller or AP Todd Gurley in the making.
Yeah.
But I just don't think they have the DBs to keep up with that speed on the outside.
Yeah. So I'm going to also go with the Texans, but I'm going to say they're going to win by 17.
17.
Yeah. Okay. So next up we got. I don't know. I think I'm looking at the matchups, and I think this is gonna be like the shittiest game of the week, and that's the Browns and the Eagles.
That nobody watches games.
Nobody. I mean, probably, maybe somebody might will. Well, obviously the fan bases will.
Yeah, obviously the faithful, but I mean, Josh Gordon's not playing. I know the rookie Corey Coleman's there, but I know he's a little bit banged up.
Carson Wentz is actually going to be starting for the Eagles.
I'm like I said, I'm not in love with any of the rookie quarterbacks. Surprisingly, besides Dakota.
Yeah.
Very not extremely raw as Paxton Lynch or Christian Hackenberg, who has better arm talent.
Yeah.
That I feel like he has a better arm talent. Carson, I mean, he'll do fine. Maybe not as good as Dakota.
We got to pick a winner here. So who are you gonna go with?
The Eagles.
The Eagles. How much?
I'll go
by
7 simply because I guess offensively, running back wise, you know, Rashad Matthews as opposed to what is it, Johnson Jr.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just the lack of experience, the lack of chemistry. I mean, obviously, when Josh Gordon comes back, they'll be, you know, not saying heavily favored, but they'll have, you know, something to look forward to.
I'm gonna also agree with you. I'm gonna pick the Eagles, and I'm also gonna take them by 7. I mean, it seems like it's gonna be maybe close.
A muddy game. I'm looking at a muddy game.
I'm thinking maybe. I don't see any running backs either trying to make themselves stand out here. Maybe the wideouts might have a big part to play with
I could see the wideouts. I mean, they don't need. Either team doesn't necessarily have the best DBs in the league.
Yeah. So the next game we have is the Bills and the Ravens. I think personally, this is another weird kind of game. I think both defenses are really good, and both offenses are sketchy.
The Falcons. I mean, the Ravens. Sorry.
There you go. Yeah.
Sorry,
Ravens.
Baltimore, Maryland. Don't get mad at me. The entry bug just seems to come back, and no matter who they sign or they just need to, you know, have everybody CLS certified.
Okay.
I do have the Bills though. Rex Ryan's defense.
Okay.
I'm not saying anything against Harbaugh. They're both of them are geniuses defensive wise, but just they have the depth.
Yeah.
And as far as game planning wise, they come with the same thing pretty much, which is the option. And Tyrod Taylor can fling it. He's not Tom Brady in the making.
Yeah.
But you know he's got an arm, and you know they are what they are within themselves. They just run.
By how much are you gonna take them though?
I'll take them by 10.
By 10? Okay. Now from what I've seen recently from the Ravens have a really, really good run game right now.
Oh yeah.
And Joe Flacco, he's back, you know, and so far, I mean, the wideouts, they have some young talent.
They have Mike Wallace
as well as Rashad
Perryman.
So I'm gonna take them, but I'm gonna take them by 14.
By 14, well, okay.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be mostly on the ground though. Maybe there will be some things going on in the air. Next up, we have the San Diego Superchargers against the Chiefs.
Chargers,
which they did re-sign Joey Bosa. So they have that in their back pocket. So who are you taking in this game?
From the Chargers and
the Chiefs.
The Chiefs. I gotta go with the Chiefs.
Okay.
And Andy Reid.
How much are you gonna take them by?
I'll take 14.
14. Okay, I'm gonna take them as well, but I'm gonna take them by.
The AFC West is very weird simply because of the fact, from what I've seen, even when the Broncos are dominating the West.
Yeah.
For some reason, they always have a close game with the Chargers, or the Chiefs will be in the lead of their division.
Yeah.
But then the Broncos beat them out of nowhere, and it's like I don't get it. But
maybe that might end up changing this year.
Yeah.
I am taking the Chiefs by 20 though. Next up, we have the Raiders against the Saints. That crazy, not necessarily crazy offense of the Raiders, but it's young, and they just seem to be like really good. Both on the ground game, in the air, and then the Raiders are building that defense again. I don't know. Like for me, it's hard. I'm gonna pick the Raiders, and I'm gonna get them by 17.
17. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll have them by 14. 2 TDs. Amari Cooper, Latavius Murray, and that rookie Washington. He's a kid to look out for.
Okay. The Bucks against the Falcons.
That's another sketchy game.
This is really hard. I mean, I'm not saying the Buccaneers defense is all that good, especially their secondary against Julio Jones. But the thing about the Bucs is offensively, they're good.
They're getting better.
They're getting better.
Honestly, the Bucs go as good as Jameis Winston. He's developing pretty fast.
And the Saints don't really have a really good defense.
They don't. Honestly, they don't. Like, they just. Jarius Byrd is still there, and he has not panned out whatsoever.
Either way you look at this, I mean, the Falcons, I think their defense might be better than, I don't know, this is hard.
I feel, no, they got a pass rush.
The Falcons?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They got those two DNs that just came in the league.
It's kind of up in the air, really. I'm gonna go with the Falcons. But only by 10.
By 10?
Yeah.
I feel like it just depends on Julio Jones. I'm not sure how healthy he is. I don't want to put the Bucs up there because it's the Buccaneers. Got Tampa Bay.
You got to choose one, man.
I will go with Tampa Bay by 3. Simply because I feel like Mike Evans will be healthier than Julio Jones.
Okay. It's Julio Jones. Okay, the Bengals against the Jets.
Bengals against Jets.
That to me seems like it's going to be a very dirty game.
I have the Bengals. Ryan Fitzpatrick should be playing. Am I correct?
Yes, he should be.
If it's Geno Smith, like, for sure. Yeah.
How much are you taking the Bengals?
I'll take the Bengals by 21.
21?
Yeah,
okay.
I don't think the Jets are defensively. Obviously, Todd Bowles.
Yeah,
Todd Bowles got their team ready, but I just feel like the offense is. I took a step back simply because they took forever to sign Ryan Fitzpatrick, and that's never good for a team.
I'm gonna take the Bengals as well, but I'm only gonna have them win by 17. Sorry, got a little burp there. Packers against the Jags.
Packers against Jags. This is my
Jaguars.
This is my upset game of the week.
Okay.
I know no one's that high on the
Packers.
on the Jaguars.
Okay, on the Jags.
No one's that high on the Jaguars right now.
Uh-huh.
Like, obviously, Aaron Rodgers got Jordy Nelson back, who's his Achilles heel, as we all know now.
As well as Eddie Lacy and
David Cobb runs through Jordy Nelson now. Everybody knows that. I feel like the Jaguars will win by a touchdown.
By a touchdown?
Yeah, they got. I feel like just Allen Robinson's taking another step as a dominant receiver.
Mm-hmm.
Allen Hurns.
They're both big targets.
Julius Thomas.
As well as they now have Chris Ivory. They have Jalen Ramsey. From what I heard in the beginning, he may have gotten injured, but there hasn't been a whole lot of other reports about that.
Yeah, I feel
so I am also going to take the Jags. They are a young team. They seem like they're hungry. Freaking Blake Bortles got to freaking put down those freaking interceptions. They got to go down.
He does.
So I'm also going to take them.
Their playoff hopes run through him because obviously the AFC South is somewhat still open.
I'm going to take them only by the Dolphins against the Seahawks. I think this is going to be a sad game to watch.
Seahawks.
I'm going to go with the Seahawks too. I'm taking the Seahawks by at least 17.
17 as well. 17.
Okay. This next game to me is like nobody knows. Well, maybe the Cowboys against the Giants.
This game, no, Jesus Christ.
I mean, we don't know what's going on with the Cowboys right now. I mean, Dak Prescott. Oh, he
looks promising.
Yeah,
he looks like the real deal.
Yeah,
but I don't know how ready he is.
I mean, they have Des Bryant.
He has the cast, supporting cast. I mean, he is one of the best offensive lines, if not the best offensive line.
I don't trust that Cowboys defense.
Neither do I at the moment. Not until they get their pass rushers back can the Cowboys be complete.
They lost all their freaking pass rushers. It's crazy. This is so hard, but I'm gonna have to go with the team that seems to be more ready than the other one. And that I'm going to have to go with the Giants. And that hurts me inside because I hate the Giants. freaking lost 2 freaking Super Bowls because of them. So I'm gonna.
I will be going with the Cowboys.
Okay. I'm gonna take the Giants by 10.
I'll take the Cowboys by 6. 2 field goals, Dan Bailey.
2 field goals, Dan
Bailey, Bills out, Dakota.
Okay. Next up, we have another game that I don't think really no one's gonna really notice or it's on their radar, and that's the Lions and the Colts.
Poor Andrew Luck. Can't be lucky enough to have a good line.
And then Matthew Stafford. I mean,
a year older. No more Calvin. No more Megatron.
Yeah. Well, I don't really. Yeah. This one literally can go either way.
It can. Honestly, it can.
Matthew Stafford might end up taking this one. I think because of Golden Tate, he just seems to be one of those really consistent receivers.
Yes, Golden Tate, and I feel like maybe Amir Abdullah will have a breakout game, but I know everyone last year was waiting on that. I mean, he had a couple good flashes, but I feel like this, what better way to start your season and give your fans some hope than, start with the run game and establish yourself.
So, I'm taking the Lions by 13.
I'll take them by a field goal.
By a field goal? Okay.
By a field goal. It'll be that weird of a game.
Okay, so
I'm expecting, honestly, I'll expect at least 7 turnovers total.
Next up, we have the Patriots against the Cardinals. This is a really ugly matchup. From what I've heard, Carson Palmer hasn't really had a good preseason, but I think it's going to be really close, and I'm going to say 6 points. The Patriots win.
I have to go with the Cardinals.
The Cardinals, okay.
I feel like this game might go to overtime.
It might go to overtime?
Might go to overtime.
Okay.
It'll be a tight game. For those of you that feel like it'll be lopsided either with the Patriots or just the fact that Tom Brady's not there alone. I don't know how ready, again, Jimmy Garoppolo, even with 3 years down on his belt.
Yeah.
We'll find out how real Jimmy Garoppolo is coming out of Eastern Carolina.
Eastern Illinois.
Illinois. Sorry about that. Tony Romo fans.
So how much you got the Cardinals winning by?
I got the Cardinals by 4.
4? In overtime?
I'm not in overtime. I'm not sure yet about that, but I do expect the game-winning play to be a turnover.
A turnover?
Interception for sure.
So you said 4 points.
By 4 points. It'll either be, Butler or the safeties. Both teams got really good safeties. Terran Mateo.
Yeah. Steelers against the Redskins.
Redskins.
The Redskins. You just played the Redskins right now.
There's not much to hate about the Redskins.
Yeah.
This is a team it's there. It just needs to take that step forward now. I feel like it might be better than that team that went to the playoffs against Seattle in 2012, 2011, I believe. The year of the RG3.
Yeah. But for me, it's going to come down to the Steelers secondary, which has always seemed to be an issue with the Steelers. That their secondary hasn't always been as good as it could be. Their DBs aren't as good. And Washington has Deshaun Jackson, has Pierre Garçon, and now has what the hell's his name?
Josh Doctson.
Exactly. As well as they have pretty decent backups to those guys. So
the tight end Jordan Reed is actually, one of the top fantasy producers this year. So
as well as the Redskins defense seems to be at least pretty good. They're okay.
Well, they got an up in DBs with Josh Norman.
Yeah. So I'm going to say it's going to be a really close game. I think the Redskins might win it by a field goal.
By a field goal. Yeah. I can agree with that. I'll take that too.
Okay. And the last game is the Rams and the 49ers. two really big stories, at least recently, with the Rams moving and now the whole controversy with the 49ers and Connor Kaepernick.
I need water for this.
The water's right behind you. Just turn around right there. There you go.
The Rams.
You're going to go with the Rams?
The Rams.
Okay.
I mean, obviously, they don't have the best quarterbacks in the world right now, Case Keenum. He's got an arm, I mean, but he's really risky the way he plays.
Yeah, well, they also have Jared Goff on there. He's not starting, but you know it's an option. But they also have Todd Gurley. So
Todd Gurley, yes.
How much are you gonna take him?
Simply Todd Gurley. Todd Gurley takes over. Bold prediction for that. I got Gurley with 150 yards, 40 just on catches alone. I mean,
okay.
I'll take them by 10.
By 10? I'm going to take the Rams by 14. They're going to win by 2 touchdowns. And on the shoulders of Todd Gurley. That's pretty much our predictions for Week 1, guys. Obviously, we'll check back in next week to see how we did. And that's the end of this video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. And if you did, by all means, hit that like button as well as subscribe to our YouTube channel. We make more videos just like this. And we'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.